Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. So, as of the recording of this video, today is August 31st. By the time you're watching this, it'll be September 1st of 2021. Now, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and take a look at what potential drivers there are with regards to Tesla that could send the stock price a lot higher before the end of the year. Okay, we have 4 months left in the rest of 2021. Okay, and arguably, this is when Tesla has its best time of year. Okay, this is when they have Q4, Q3, right? This is where they ramp up production of their vehicles. This is the time of year that's the most exciting to be a Tesla shareholder. So with this video, the goal is to talk about what drivers can really propel the stock to new levels. Okay, now obviously we can talk about Q3 and Q4, but there are a lot of other things that are going to happen in between that time span that we're going to cover in this video. So before we get into it, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell so you know whenever I release future videos, okay? Normally my schema is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so if you hit that bell, you won't have to worry about it. You'll just see it within your YouTube channel. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so here we're looking at my Webull account. Okay, now I normally just use this for just tracking Tesla and other stocks. So I don't actually use Webull too much as my own platform, but it's a very intuitive platform to use that's very good and gives you a lot of great analytics into individual stocks. So here we're obviously looking at Tesla, and you can see here today, this is as of the close of business of August 31st, okay? And here you see that we're sitting at 7.35 before the market closed, and after hours we're down about $1.51. So overall, this is definitely a breakout for Tesla right now. Okay, we really have no limits. If I span out to the last, let's just say year to date, okay, you can see that you can see all of the different lines and thresholds I've had, right? Everything's essentially been broken, right? You can see right here, I won't hover over it so you guys can see it, but you can see right under my mouse here that we've essentially broken out of all resistance, okay? So there's really nothing stopping us from getting back up here to the 780s, okay? And we haven't seen that since back in May. All right, so this could be a decent sized gap up from where we're at now. So what could help propel us to that 780? And of course, if we break out that 780, right, the next resistance will be all-time highs. Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss a few things that could really propel us to that next level, or potentially even all-time highs. Okay, so the first catalyst that we could see between now and the end of the year, okay, the remaining 4 months, will be August China numbers. All right, we already have some preliminary, rumors going out there, but to me, until we get the actual numbers, all of that is just rumors and nothing to really invest or get excited about. Now, with August China numbers, okay, we'll see a lot of very interesting things. One, we'll see Tesla go ahead and start to ramp up more so of their domestic sales in China. But we'll also still see a very strong export number. Keep in mind, China, Shanghai, Giga Shanghai is the new export hub for China. So what that means is that in the first half of the quarter, the focus is purely on exporting. And then the back half of the quarter, and especially the last month of the quarter, that is when they focus purely on the domestic sales. So with August being that mid-month, right? So the second month within the quarter, we get to see in a few days from now, we get to see what the numbers are starting to look like, right? Are we starting to see domestic sales go up and seeing some export sales come down? And then also just what does the aggregate of both of those numbers look together? Okay, there's already rumors out there talking about, eclipsing their all-time highs at a Giga Shanghai. We're hearing something in the order of 40,000 vehicles or more. Keep all those rumors at bay, okay? Let's wait till we get the actual numbers. There's no reason to rush into any kind of rumors or take any of those as gospel, especially when we're literally days away from getting the actual numbers. All right, so that's the first catalyst that we could see coming up soon. The second catalyst that we can see between now and the end of the year is actually probably going to happen by the end of this week. Okay, FSD Beta version 10. So this is the new FSD stack that has a completely retrained neural net. This might come out this Friday. Okay, now this will only be to the 2000 beta testers if it's released this Friday, but this would be a actual fundamental step change within FSD. Okay, what it seems like that's going to happen is that instead of having separate stacks, so you have highway stack, you have city street stack, right? We're going to essentially aggregate all of them into one stack, right? Even for the summon, right, for parking or anything like that, the summon feature, right? All of that to be stacked into one code base, if you will, within the neural net, and all that's been retrained, right? With everything that's come out from 9.0, 9.1, 9.2, everything is being retrained and going through its own iterations within the Tesla supercomputer, and that's going to get pushed out. So if that comes out this Friday, and if it is a significant step change, right, and we'll see it very quickly with the beta testers, that could be something that really redefines what we're looking at when it comes to the Tesla share price. Right now with 9.2, we already see very few interventions or takeovers or anything from drivers. They still exist. It's still beta. It's not perfect by any means. But honestly, when I make all of my FSD beta videos, they're getting kind of boring to sit there and have to sift through everything. And the main reason why they're getting boring is because there just aren't that many interactions. At this point, the majority of the videos I create are just about amazing things that the vehicle is able to do, the predictiveness of it, right? The understanding of acceleration and velocity and, the human element and its surroundings. So that's something that could really be groundbreaking for Tesla, and keep an eye out for that. That potentially at the earliest will come out this Friday. Okay, so that's number 2. The third and potentially the most aggressive driver for Tesla in the coming months that could really test potentially all-time highs, right? And none of this hyperbolic. This is really something that I think could happen, would be what I would just call, Tesla October, or October Tesla, okay? October could be an insane month for Tesla. Why is that? Okay, well, first, there are rumors that Giga Austin, might actually start production of Model Y coming out of their factory. Okay, we have a lot of rumors right now about Tesla's being made for production testing and calibration of actual machines within the Gigafactory. But come October, rumor is that they'll actually be starting to create Model Ys for production for sale. Now, this won't be in volume, but the whole thing is that they will be starting. That means the plant will be live. The Gigafactory will be live and it'll be going. Okay, so that's one. The second major thing happening potentially in October would be we will be able to see what the September numbers are. Okay, so September will be the last month of the quarter, okay, of Q3. Okay, so with that last month, we'll get all of the China numbers, and that could be very impactful. Okay, that's when we will really see if Tesla has a China problem or not, right? We'll be able to see all of those domestic sales because, again, as we mentioned before, the last month of the quarter for the factory that is predominantly all about exports tends to sell the majority of their vehicles domestically. So this is where we'll get a real kind of bellwether for what is going on within China with regards to Tesla. Okay, there's 2 things so far happening potentially in October. The third thing that could happen, okay, is Giga Berlin opening. Okay, if Giga Berlin opens and Austin opens and we get a blowout China domestic sales, okay, this could be something that just, it could be 2020 all over again. All right, we could definitely for sure test these new highs. And of course, right, with FSD Beta 10 being released to those 2000 beta testers, if it doesn't come out this Friday, maybe it gets pushed off a little bit later, or maybe it just gets pushed off all the way until October, right? That's a possibility. But another possibility is that beta does come out this Friday, okay? Now, Elon has hinted that it could be about another 4 weeks after the beta 10 is released to do some bug fixes and, make sure that everything's up to par. And then they could potentially release the button, okay? This would be FSD Beta 10 being sent out to the masses. Okay, the infamous button where every person who has FSD would be able to get it. Okay, this would be just groundbreaking, ground shattering for Tesla. Okay, not only would this have an impact on the stock, but this could mean people sign up for the subscription in droves. Okay, this would mean that they are confident enough that it's almost there. It's almost completely ready and feature complete to where they wouldn't even call it beta. Okay, that's what this means. And if nothing else, the amount of data they'll be able to get back just because they have a, oh my goodness, like more than an order of magnitude of customers using it at that point, right? It would be almost 2 million probably at that point of customers who could potentially use this. So the amount of data they would be getting would be astronomical, okay? It would be exponential. So again, October, what do we have to look forward to? Potentially Austin opening, potentially Berlin opening, potentially blow out China domestic numbers where we find out Tesla in China is very healthy. And again, potentially for the beta 10 to go public. Okay, October could be a monster month for Tesla. So, again, keep an eye out for October. October is the month where I really think everything might come together for one of the best months in the history of Tesla. So this next potential driver, you could argue, should be part of October, right? But I want to isolate this one out on its own because, the October, these are things that we are expecting from Tesla. So, releases, updates, products. This next one is more so isolated, I think. So this next, potential driver are simply Q3 earnings. Okay, Q3 ends at the end of September, which means the earnings call will happen at the end of October. Okay, Q3 and Q4 are historically, more than historically, they are the best quarters that Tesla has every single year, over and over. Okay, in this Q3, we will probably surpass what we did all of last year in vehicle sales. Okay, if we do this, and if we blow it out again with margins, and if we exceed expectations on anything else, right, from a revenue perspective, from a operating income, right, this will be a consistent trend that we're seeing with Tesla, where their numbers are just getting better. Okay, where we're seeing the scale, right, all of the investment that Tesla has put into these gigafactories, into the presses, and all of the R&D, the learning, the paint shops, all of that is starting to pay dividends for them. Okay, they've been investing, and taking on short-term pain for long-term gains. Well, now that snowball is starting to turn over. Okay, it's starting to gain speed, starting to gain momentum, and we saw that in Q1. Okay, we saw that in Q1 where it was the first Q1 in a long time where they essentially beat Q4, the previous Q4's sales. Okay, and then we just saw Q2, where Q2 was just absolutely insane. Okay, from margins to revenue to operating income, right? Their efficiency, the amount of cash they have on hand. Just think about it. This so-called auto company, they are the only auto company out there right now that has more cash in the bank than they have debt. Think about that, okay? And all we're going to see here is that improve and accelerate. So Q3, just that alone, Q3 earnings could be something that really propels the stock higher. And why is that? Well, it's not just about the quarter being good, but it's the ancillary things that come from that. A good Q3, right, on the back of what Q2 was, which was absolutely amazing. It was the best quarter ever. And again, not just sales, right? We're talking about everything: efficiency, spending, operating, income, everything. If we get that again in Q3, and if not even beat it, think about what the analysts are going to come out with. Okay, the analyst reports that come out, the recommendations, the upgrades, these are actual needle movers for the stock price. Now, keep in mind, this channel is all about the long term, right? The bigger picture, right? But it is fun to get excited about these little things and these short-term moves. I don't really care about day-to-day moves, but when we're looking at from now to the next 4 months, it's pretty exciting, and it's really fun to see how these monumental moments throughout the year have a direct correlation with the stock. All right, Q2, this past Q2 after the earnings, it took about 3 to 4 days before the stock even reacted. Okay, now luckily we loaded up on even more Tesla shares, and we were able to be net beneficiaries of that. But this could happen again and again and again. I don't foresee there being a single quarter where Tesla doesn't blow it out for the foreseeable future. And when I say foreseeable future, I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 years to come. All right. Giga Berlin, Giga Austin are coming online, and those are going to be even more efficient factories. Think about it. Shanghai is extremely efficient. Fremont was a factory that they modified after they bought it from Toyota to kind of fit what they needed. Okay, it wasn't thought ahead of how we can make this efficient. Shanghai was a factory that they built from the ground up, and they were actually able to design for the first time. Okay, now anytime you do something for the first time, you get lots of lessons learned, and you're able to figure out how you could improve upon it, how you can become even more efficient. Say hello to Giga Austin, Giga Berlin. These will be the most efficient factories that Tesla has. Okay, they will be utilizing the GigaPress for the front and the rear. Okay, they've even talked, and they haven't given too much information about this, but about in Giga Berlin, where 2/3 of the actual vehicle frame will be casted. Okay, these have huge implications when it comes to efficiency and margin and revenue and gross profit, right? And they're things that we will directly see on the balance sheet. Okay, so these things are going to matter, and they are going to move the needle, and these are the things that analysts care about. And unfortunately, for some reason, the majority of investors care what analysts think, so we should as well. But luckily, we're in the position where we get to invest before any of this happens. Okay, that's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, because all I really care about is 5 and 10 years from now. Okay, that's where my eye is set. Right? Tesla will be the largest company in the world. There's no question about it. Okay, and not just the largest by a lot. Okay, I'm talking about I believe a $10 trillion company without a doubt this decade. Okay, that is what I am predicting. Mark this channel, call me out in 10 years from now, see if I'm right or wrong. But with that said, in the next 4 months, you still have an opportunity to invest in Tesla before, it gets even more and more expensive, which in reality it's really cheap. But these are things to think about. Now, none of this is investment advice. This is just a software systems engineer's perspective and what I think, and some Tesla fanboy. But take it with a grain of salt, do your own research, and check out something like Hypercharts and look up Tesla, and you'll start to see this exponential consistency between every single chart. Okay, take a look at Tesla's debt that they owe, and take a look at how much cash they have on hand. Compare that to any other automaker. Take a look at Tesla AI Day, which I promise you we will be making some videos about Tesla AI Day coming soon. But these are the things I want you to think about. So even though we're looking at a very short term right now for the next 4 months, you got to keep the bigger picture in mind. Okay, so with that said, these are the catalysts that I see coming up within the coming months. Okay, and the only remaining real catalyst driver after everything I've mentioned so far is simply November and December. November and December are the months where Tesla cranks it out. Okay, this is where they absolutely put their foot on the accelerator and punch out all of those electrons and go essentially in plaid mode and go just haywire with their production and sales. Okay, these are the months where they absolutely blow it out. These are the most productive months. This is where they have the most sales, the most deliveries out of the entire year. Okay, so now the benefit of all that, we probably won't see it until 2022 hits. So that's more of a January effect. But everybody knows what November and December means. So if we get to see what numbers look like in October, and we'll see November numbers out of Shanghai come December, right? It gives us a very good, idea of what the entire quarter is going to look like moving forward. Okay, so again, these are just some drivers and catalysts that I see on the horizon in things that, you might want to go ahead and start investing in Tesla because of a lot of these things to come. Now, again, with that said, none of this is investment advice. These are just my opinions, my thoughts. This is just a stream of consciousness. None of this is really scripted or tailored or anything. I'm just talking to you off what comes off the top of my mind. And again, I can't stress this enough. With this channel, Investing Against the Grain, the idea is to think of the bigger picture. The idea is to think 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Okay, we don't invest for the short term. We invest for the long term. Okay, that's how real wealth is built. Okay, this is how you go ahead and set yourself up in a foundation to grow in the future. All right, so with that said, we're gonna go ahead and leave it there. Appreciate it if you made it to the very end. I hope you found this video informative and exciting. If nothing else, even if you don't want to invest in Tesla, it's a very exciting time, especially come October with all of these new things happening, new software coming out, new factories opening up. It's just an exciting time to just even be involved remotely, anything fan, whatnot, even just owning a Tesla. It's an exciting time to be involved with Tesla in some way, shape, or form. All right, do us a favor. If you enjoy this content, help us out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. All of this really does help our channel, helps get this kind of information out to a bigger audience, right? For people who don't know any of this information, or people who just need a little bit of a catalyst for them to go and make decisions for themselves and do their own research, right? Even if they don't agree with me, it's that spark that might lead someone down a rabbit hole that shows them something else, right? So you never know how these things happen. It's a ripple effect. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you all. Appreciate you. I love you all. Peace.